Welcome to a special edition of the Remedial Film Class Podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
And I'm Travis.
And I'm...
Who are you really, though? Because I have to probably cut that.
I'm... Can't you just bleep it?
Uh,
And I'm George.
Hey, guys. So, after we spent an hour and a half talking about how much we loved and hated The Dark Knight Rises, I thought I would give you guys a quick rundown of what it was like to be a part of the production of The Dark Knight Rises, rather. What do you guys think? Do you want to hear some stories from the trenches?
yeah. Did you meet anybody on the team?
No, not really. Actually, I
I
did.
don't care, though.
I did. So here's what happened, right? They put out a call for extras nationwide. Hey, who wants to come sit at the Steelers Stadium and be in a Batman movie? And I thought, no, it's expensive and stupid. And my wife was like, you're expensive and stupid. You need to go to this thing. And she was right. So my buddy Jake and I flew off to Pittsburgh from Kansas City on our own dime, paid for a hotel, did the whole shebang to be in a 12-hour shoot where we stood and sat in the Steelers Stadium in 95-degree August heat while wearing winter apparel. On the way there, we picked up a hitchhiker, which is always a good idea. But he was dressed in yellow, and he was our age, and he was headed toward Batman. So I pulled over and I yelled, "Are you going to Batman?" This dude's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Get in." So he picked up a hitchhiker, and he didn't kill us or to us,
Good.
as it were.
Wow.
And
Did he sell a tape called 6 Minute Abs?
no, he's just a normal nerdy guy, just like us. And he just wanted to be in Batman, and he went by himself. So we pull up, and he's like with us for a good chunk of the day, right? We're sitting there, and you sit in the seats. They film a little bit. You cheer, woo! We're football fans, sports ball, yay! And then they move you to a new section, and basically by compositing all these different angles, they can make a full stadium with 15,000 people. Well, at one point, they're moving our group. Now, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I am a rule-following kind of guy. I never like to get in trouble. I don't like to push the envelope. I bleep all kinds of funny stuff you guys say because of those reasons. So, at one point, they're moving our group, and we walk right by a nice lower middle corner section on our way to another side section. And I grab my buddy by the hoodie, and I go, "We're sitting down here," right? So I break their little, coordinating rules, and I put us in some seats we don't belong in with a group of people we don't know. And it's those seats that end up in the movie. So, whew, it's a good thing we did that. The one time in my life I did something rebellious, and I got in a movie for it. So I know.
Well, you also
life.
theater hopped
Yeah, you theater hopped
in this
rebel.
episode, so
That's true.
you're breaking all kinds of rules.
I sat in
for
a
Batman.
seat too long, is what I did. But yeah, so that was pretty cool to break the rules and end up in the movie. Now, we were there for 12 hours. They shot maybe half an hour's worth of film, and a majority of the time was the event people trying to keep us interested. There was a good hour where they were just like, "Who wants to be famous? Do karaoke." And have you ever wanted to kill yourself on a movie set?
I've never been on a movie set.
Spend an hour with people who want to be in a movie singing karaoke over a PA.
Ugh.
It's awful. It's hot. You've got a coat on. People are singing. It was miserable. Needless to say, none of them got famous. But I'm sure some of them are in the movie. But at the end of the shoot, they had all the, Christopher Nolan came out and waved, and Tom Hardy came out in full Bane gear to do a raffle. So in full Bane attire, in his own voice, through the mask, he announced himself as winning the raffle, and everybody laughed. That Bane, you can't trust the thing he does. But
where's me?
Earlier in the day, they had Hines Ward riding one of the tumblers. That was pretty cool.
Oh, there you go.
If you remember, the
cool.
tumbler's not even in that scene. They just did it for fan service. Keep us interested while they got all the stuff together. Blew up the field. That was pretty cool. But if you saw it, the way they do it, it's mostly CGI. So the practical effect was pretty meh. But we got to see the debut of Bane, right? So he comes out from the corner, and we all know it's going to be Bane, but we don't know what he looks like. We're trying to see from a distance. And the first thing he does is he goes, "Take control," right? And in the movie, it's very much like, "Take control," right? Like, And when he did it live, no lie, it was like, "Take control." And I was just like, that's when we all looked at each other like, oh, okay.
It's like when you hear the footage of David Prowse doing the Darth Vader lines before they put in the James Earl Jones voice. You're like, oh my God, this is terrible.
Yeah, it was insane. Like, and keep in mind, he only did like 2 or 3 shots of the same scene, and then of course they'd like cut the mic when Pavel would identify himself, and we knew he killed him, but we didn't know why he killed him. And then like at one point they rolled the nuclear fusion reactor thing out, didn't acknowledge it, took a couple of shots, rolled it away. So all of us were just like, oh, I guess it was a bomb. Like it looked like the bomb from the 60s TV show when you don't have any context. And so I was like, some days you can't get rid of a bomb. Like it was very strange. But then you don't hear the Bane voice again until cut to a year later when they do the preview shot. So really interesting to like tease us with something very different than the teaser trailer, which was still different than the actual movie. And each time it got way less adventurous and kind of boring. Kind of weird. So, I mean, really, that's about all that happened on the shot, on the shoot. No, but Jake
and I,
was that? This was 2011, August of 2011.
Okay.
So Jake and I, because we had to pay to fly all the way to Pittsburgh.
It's a shame we didn't meet like 10 years sooner.
Oh, I know.
Because like Travis would have been there with you. Absolutely.
I would have made you go too. It would have been awesome. All 4 of us would have been in the corner of the end zone.
Drove out there
4.5 hours away.
Right as Heinz Ward is about
Pittsburgh?
to get the kickoff. You
five.
See all of us.
And you know the Steelers, stadium.
I would have had so much freaking gear on. It would have been ridiculous.
Dude, Travis has so much black and yellow in his wardrobe.
Holy shit. Yeah, and that was a good time. It was, what did you say, 2011?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was after Cowher had left, but just after the...
they just won a Super Bowl.
But it was Tomlin's Super Bowl, I think. It was
Tomlin's Super Bowl.
Still weird that they didn't bring Mike Tomlin in to be the coach, but that's neither here nor there. We stayed a couple of days extra, and all we did for an entire day, Jake and I, was walk around Pittsburgh and drive around Pittsburgh trying to find shooting locations. And keep in mind, this is pre-GPS. So we had cell phones, and we had a tourist map that we got from the hotel front desk that was like a cartoon, kind of like what you get at a theme park. But yet, risking life and limb, we still managed to find quite a few shoots and never once got robbed.
Put that away, we'll look like tourists.
So we actually managed to get to Carnegie Mellon. We got to Carnegie Mellon as they were shooting the finale, but we didn't know it was the finale. And we started talking to the PA, who's like kind of keeping the crowd back. And we kind of, hey, we came all the way from Kansas City. Like, can you do anything cool? Can we do anything? And he's like, well, there's a tumbler over here. You can see it from where you're standing. I'm like, yeah, I know. But can we get in? Can we do something? He's like, no, that's stupid. So that was the day. No. Yeah. So that was the day before.
My kids at the Globetrotters. They're like, I want to go out on the court. I'm like, you're not going out on the court.
That was the day we arrived in Pittsburgh that we met that PA. We got off the plane, went to Monroeville, went to the mall, saw the Dawn of the Dead stuff, walked like a zombie, got in the car, drove around Pittsburgh, found Carnegie Mellon, met the PA. Now, cut to the end of the shoot on day 2, the actual big shoot that we were there for. 95 degrees, heavy winter coats. Everybody's crammed into that little atrium as you're exiting the stadium, and it's getting hot, and we're getting a little overheated. I wake up in the hotel room. I'm not quite sure where the car is parked, and I don't remember the drive home. Legit heat stroke. Neither one of us knew how we got back to that hotel room.
Wow.
Yeah, not a good idea.
I carried you.
Yeah, something. I don't know. It was.
I did Buddha on you.
You wake up sore in all kinds of weird places and just glad you're home.
Or Buddha.
So we've already seen Carnegie Mellon. We've seen the finale of the movie. We don't know it. We've seen the shooting of the main Heinz Ward touchdown return and all that. The next day they're shooting more at the stadium, but it's exclusive. And so we naturally go to try to trespass our way onto the set. And we spent like a good 3 hours just like kind of like a raptor in a Jurassic Park cage. We're testing the perimeter. Is anybody going to see us? Okay, there's a person there. We got to keep moving. Oh, we're just walking along the edge. We're definitely not going to take a few steps inside. We spent a good probably 3 hours trying to sneak our way in to the stadium again. Never worked, but it was a fun experiment. We did see them blow up the mayor's press box. That was pretty cool.
Cool.
But, from outside the stadium, not as cool. So outside the stadium, though, we did see an entire truck full of prop MP5 A4s, not the Ks that the Special Forces guys were holding, but the ones that the SWAT guys would hold. And it was just a prop guy just re-spraying on the black paint for the upcoming shot for them to go underground. So that was cool. We also saw a technical, the pickup truck with the machine gun mounted on it, that you don't actually see in the movie until the final winter sequence. So they were just prepping for it and holding it at the stadium. We wrap up our day walking all over downtown Pittsburgh, which honestly, I saw a guy like changing his shoe on a park bench. And at first I was like, well, that's a weird place to change one shoe. And then I realized he was retrieving drugs from his shoe to inject into himself. And we skittered away.
I thought you were going to say it was Mr. Rogers. He's from Pittsburgh.
But it was getting dark, right?
Changing his shoes.
But we weren't quite ready to go yet because we had seen somebody with one of the it was Magnus Rex was the name of the movie on like the shooting title. We saw somebody with the badge as we were driving around. So we walked our way up and we found, just kind of by good luck, the place where they were dumping the IMAX cameras overnight. It was just like a storefront in a random downtown building. And so the same PA from the other day was there. We're like, we're the Kansas City guys. Can we help? Can we do anything? Can we just say we worked on this movie? And the PA's looking at me like, no, I freaking told you can't do this. This is going to get me in trouble. The prop master guy pulls up in his semi and he's like, hey, you want to help with the movie? Here. And he lets me move the cones to help him park the truck so that they can unload their stuff. He's like, there, tell people you worked on The Dark Knight Rises. And I was like, who's ever going to want to listen to this story? So thanks, guys.
Hey.
But yeah, it was cool.
That's a great story.
Multiple locations. The finale, watching them film it was interesting because all we could see from the outside was like the background coverage. So the cameras are inside shooting the finale and the guys are doing their pre-rehearsed fist fight up on the steps just for what would be in the background of the shot from inside. And all we knew was they were running a crane with a long cord straight out of the middle of the roof. And so we're like, oh, cool. He's going to like swing in and drop in from above. And no.
Never happened.
And they just yanked Bane with it once. It's like, okay, whatever. Still pretty cool to see the end of the movie before we saw the movie. Without spoiling it for ourselves.
Very cool.
You telling that story reminded me, I was on a movie set.
Ooh.
But you don't want to hear about it because it was
pornography.
12 monkeys. I was in school when they were filming that movie, so I was in Philly, and we went down and watched them do the scene where they you don't care because you don't like the movie.
I care. I care about you, Travis.
After she does the phone call and finds out it's a dry cleaner, and then she comes back and tells him, and then they see themselves on the TV screens, and I guess they're on Market Street, which is near City Hall. So that whole scene, yeah. Where's the helicopter? When they're doing that City Hall scene, we were standing right there watching them do it. So I know what you're talking about. How everything just takes forever.
I don't know how movie makers don't go crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, when we make butt work, we'll know. We'll understand. Yeah. But until that time comes, it's just oh my god. And like at one point they broke an IMAX. They didn't break I think the camera broke at one point, which I think is like a breakdown situation. They're used to that. But somebody like goofed up and a spool of IMAX film exposed itself. Ooh. Fell out of the camera, kind of like in Wayne's World. And the guy who's working on the production gets on the mic. He's like, well, that just cost $25,000. And it's just like, ugh. Way to go.
And that was the year the Steelers did not win.
No, it was like after Tomlin had won the Super Bowl, isn't it? But
Tomlin
not
won
the immediate year after.
8, I believe. and then he lost in 2011 to the Packers.
Ah, those evil Packers.
The Packers.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Aaron Rodgers' only Super Bowl, though, right?
Yeah.
So there. But yeah, if you ever do get the opportunity to be an extra in a movie, you should do it just because it's fun, and it's hot, and you might get heat stroke. But the most rewarding part is a year later when the movie comes out, and then another additional 5 months till it comes out on home video, and then you can pause it and go frame by frame through an 8-minute segment to find, 8 frames of yourself in the corner.
I can imagine. I have a friend who was on the Mayor of Eastwood TV show, the
Easttown.
Yeah, Mayor Easttown. And I must have paused it like 5 times. I'm like, holy shit, that's him. He's on the show, and he had lines, and he found a thumb. Like, I'm just like, holy crap, I did plays with him. So Pat, big shout out.
But yeah, if anybody wants to bother to track old me down, hour 29:08, you'll see a player named Smith's back, and you'll see Hines Ward in the end zone getting ready to receive his kick. I am all the way to the right, about maybe 8 rows up in the corner, and you'll know it's me because I'm standing next to my buddy Jake, who instead of wearing a yellow hoodie, wore like a slightly burnt orange hoodie, which makes him stand out from the crowd a little bit, and that's how I found us. And you'll see me
in that stadium. He wore orange. Is he nuts?
Well, I mean, it was yellowish, but then you'll see
it was like school bus yellow.
If you can find me, I'm pulling up my bandana. I'm the only person in the crowd that did this, because they gave you like the towel, but the emblem is the guy wearing the bandana like a cowboy. So
yeah,
everybody else just put it on their head, and I'm like, guys,
hold on a second.
The picture is it's on his
rewind.
On his chin.
Rewind. You have a terrible towel from this movie that was given to you by the set?
Yeah.
You own that?
Uh-huh.
I have a Michael Keaton picture I can trade you for that. I have that's a terrible towel I do not have.
Well, it's only like a plain yellow piece of cloth. But yes, in storage, I do have a plain yellow piece of cloth from the set.
Oh, it doesn't have like anything from like the team on it?
No, it doesn't have any Rogues stuff on it.
So it's like a Bed Bath & Beyond yellow towel?
Yeah, you wouldn't even know.
I can go get one of those.
Yeah, I could send you one that wasn't it.
No Keaton for you.
But you can. The cool thing is, I'm the only person in the crowd that's acting, so it looks kind of creepy. If you're like, oh, maybe he's a Bane plant, right? I went real method. But no, my scene is me pulling it up over my face right before the kickoff. So if you see a guy covering his face, that's me. I did that.
It's like that extra over there thinks he's Bane.
Yeah. No, it was cool. We got to be up close and personal with his militiamen guys with their H&Ks, though. Guns.
Nice.
And, it was fun to see, like, these really goofy, 21-year-old guys with their militia gear on and their big fake gun, trying to act all tough while the movie's going, and then between takes, like, being total just goofy 20-year-olds. I had never really considered how much tail a person thinks they could swing while holding a toy gun. But those fake soldiers were flirting as hard as one can flirt, to no avail, because they're holding a toy gun, and it's just not that impressive. Thank you for joining us on a special edition of the Remedial Film Class Podcast, Self-Indulgent Dan edition. We'll be back at our regular time next Wednesday with a breakdown of The Joker, which George hasn't seen yet. So, this should be fun.